Good day, students. Welcome to this JSS 1 Basic Technology lesson on Introduction to Metalwork. Nigeria has a rich tradition of metalworking, from the ancient Benin bronze plaques to the modern steel mills of Ojukuta and the fabrication workshops in every Nigerian city. Understanding metal and how to work it is a foundation for careers in engineering, fabrication, automotive mechanics, and construction. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to state the importance of metalwork, identify the main types of metals used in metalwork, describe basic metalwork operations, marking, cutting, filing, drilling, finishing, state the tools used for each operation, and apply safety rules specific to metalwork. Let us begin. What is metalwork? Metalwork is the craft, art, and process of shaping, cutting, joining, and finishing metal to produce useful objects or structures. Importance of metalwork in Nigeria. Manufacturing, Ojukuta Steel Complex, Kogi State, designed to produce steel for national development, Delta Steel Company, Warri, Osogbo Steel Rolling Mills. Fabrication, every Nigerian city has metal fabricators producing window grills, doors, gates, railings, tanks, trailers. Automotive, Nui Auto Parts Cluster, produces metal components for vehicles. Agriculture, farm tool production, hoes, cutlasses, plows. Artisanal, blacksmiths and welders, the backbone of local metalwork. Metals commonly used in school metalwork. Mild steel, most common workshop metal, tough, malleable, welds easily, relatively cheap. Used for gates, brackets, frames. Aluminium, lightweight, soft, easy to work with hand tools, does not rust, used for thin sheet work, containers. Copper, soft, ductile, reddish, used for electrical projects, decorative work. Galvanized steel, steel coated with zinc, used for roofing sheets, water tanks, buckets. Basic metalwork operations. 1. Marking out. Purpose, transfer measurements and shapes onto metal before cutting. Tools, steel rule, measurements, scriber, scribes lines on metal, leaves a fine scratch, unlike pencil which wipes off, center punch plus hammer, makes indent to guide drill, divider, transfer measurements, draw arcs, engineers, try, square, mark right angles, surface gauge, marks parallel lines at heights from a surface plate. Surface preparation, marking blue, engineer's blue, dark blue fluid painted on clean metal surface to make scribed lines visible as bright silver scratches. 2. Cutting. Hacksaw, cuts straight lines in metal, blade has fine teeth facing forward, cuts on push stroke, tension blade in the frame. Lubricate with cutting oil for steel. Snips, the thin snips/shears cuts thin sheet metal, like scissors, straight snips, curved snips. Used for aluminium roofing sheets, thin steel plate. Cold chisel plus hammer, cuts metal along a line, shears metal held in a vise. Angle grinder, power tool with abrasive disc, for cutting and grinding heavy sections, used by Nigerian fabricators, requires eye protection and face shield. 3. Filing. Files remove small amounts of metal to smooth surfaces, remove burrs, and achieve final dimensions. File selection, shape, flat, round/rat tail, half round, triangular, square, and cut, rough, bastard, second cut, smooth. Technique, file forward stroke cuts, push into metal, lift slightly on the return stroke to avoid dulling the teeth. Maintain consistent pressure. Keep the file clean with a file card, wire brush for files. Bars, sharp raised edges left after cutting, always remove burrs with a file or deburring tool, prevents cuts to hands. 4. Drilling. Center punch first, creates a small indent so the drill bit starts in the right place without wandering. Hand drill or electric drill press, pillar drill, choose correct drill bit size. Cutting speed, harder metal slower speed, softer metal/large drill bit slower speed. Coolant/cutting oil, reduces heat when drilling steel, extends drill bit life, improves surface finish. Safety. Clamp the workpiece firmly in a vise. Never hold metal in your hand while drilling. Drill bit grabs and spins the workpiece, causing injury. 5. Finishing. Files, smooth cut, emery cloth, abrasive cloth for metal, like sandpaper but for metal, grades, coarse to fine, wet and dry paper. Surface treatments to prevent rust, paint, apply primer then top coat, galvanizing, zinc coating, oil/grease, temporary protection, lacquer. Specific metalwork joints. Riveting. A rivet, headless metal pin, is inserted through holes in both pieces. The projecting end is hammered to form a second head, joins thin sheet metal permanently. Used for aircraft, tanks, metal containers. Soldering. Low temperature joining using a tin lead or tin silver alloy, solder, heated with a soldering iron, for thin metals, electrical connections. Flux prevents oxidation. Brazing. Similar to soldering but higher temperature, uses brass/bronze filler, stronger than soldering, for copper, brass, steel. Welding. Fusion of metals at very high temperature, creates the strongest metalwork joint. Types. MIG welding, TIG welding, arc, electric, welding, common in Nigerian workshops. Requires face shield, leather gloves, welding coat. Metalwork safety. Specific rules. Wear safety goggles at all times when filing, cutting, or drilling metal. Metal chips can permanently damage eyesight. Use a file handle. Never use a file without its handle. The tang can pierce the palm. Clamp work securely before cutting or drilling. Remove burrs immediately after cutting. Use cutting oil when drilling or sawing steel. Cool metal cut with a hacksaw in water. Freshly cut metal can be very hot. Never use a file as a lever or chisel. 3 examination questions. Question 1. A student is asked to cut a 20 mm wide strip from a piece of mild steel sheet. List the steps in order. 1. Clean and degrease the metal surface. 2. Apply engineer's blue/marking blue. 3. Use a steel rule and scriber to mark a line 20 mm from the edge. 4. Use a center punch to mark the line at intervals, for drilling if needed. 5. Clamp the sheet in the bench vise with the marked line at the jaw edge. 6. Cut along the line with a hacksaw, for thick plate, or thin snips, for thin sheet. 7. Remove from vise and debar the cut edge with a file. 8. Smooth with emery cloth if required. Question 2. Why is a center punch used before drilling? Without a center punch mark, the tip of the drill bit has no starting reference. It wanders across the smooth metal surface, producing an inaccurate hole in the wrong position. The small dimple made by the center punch gives the drill bit's tip a precise starting point, preventing wandering and ensuring the hole is drilled exactly where it was marked. Question 3. State 2 differences between soldering and welding. A. Temperature. Soldering uses relatively low temperatures, 150 to 350 degrees Celsius. Welding uses extremely high temperatures, above the melting point of the metal, 400 degrees C plus for steel. B. Joint strength. Soldering creates a relatively weak joint. Solder bonds to both surfaces but does not fuse them together. Welding fuses the parent metals. It is typically as strong as or stronger than the surrounding metal. 3 common mistakes. Mistake 1. Holding metal in the hand while drilling. This is extremely dangerous. The drill bit can catch the metal and spin it at high speed, cutting the hand. Always clamp metal firmly in a vise or with a G-clamp before drilling. Mistake 2. Using a file without a handle. A file without a handle is a workshop hazard. The sharp tang, spike at the end of the file that normally goes into the handle, can pierce the palm if the file slips or jams. Always fit a proper wooden or plastic handle before using a file. Mistake 3. Not deburring cut edges. After sawing, cutting, or drilling metal, sharp burrs are left along the edge. These burrs are razor sharp and will cut through skin very easily. Always debar with a file immediately after cutting. It takes 10 seconds and prevents painful cuts. Summary. Metalwork, shaping and joining metal for useful purposes. Key metals in school workshop: mild steel, aluminium, copper. Operations: marking out, scriber, engineer's blue, center punch, divider, cutting, hacksaw, snips, cold chisel, filing, forward stroke only, use handle, debar edges, drilling, it center punch first, clamp work, cutting oil, correct speed, finishing, emery cloth, paint, galvanize. Joints: riveting, permanent, sheet metal, soldering, low temp, electrical, brazing, medium temp, welding, fusion, strongest. Safety: goggles always, file handle always, clamp work before drilling, debar immediately, cut away from body. For homework: A. List the 5 basic metalwork operations. B. Explain why a center punch is used before drilling. C. State 5 safety rules for metalwork. Attempt a quiz on your LMS. Metal is the backbone of modern civilization. Learn to shape it. Visit Litech Academy at academy.litech.com.ng. Until next time.